Not true.
He's been talking for the last 15 minutes, Adam. Come on.
That's not true. It's not true. All of these, everything that's being said is lies.
There's a slight hesitation as Lacey's like, that's not true.
Well, I'm thinking about it first. I'm like, oh man, it could be. Maybe playing the sponge earlier, you know?
No.
You doing the sponge?
I was doing the sponge, yes. That's exactly what I was doing.
Do the sponge. Do the...
And that's how you do the sponge.
Do you know what I'm actually talking about?
Yes, the song from the Chaperone episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if there's anything...
Again, you stick it in the air.
It's SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's true. He does know SpongeBob.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yes,
I didn't know that. I can joke with you about this.
We used to rehearse the episodes in the nighttime before going to sleep.
Oh my God, yeah. When me and used to share a room, we used to be rehearsing the Hash Singing Slasher episode, so the Graveyard Shift episode. Oh God, there was another one we used to do a ton. I don't.
The cooking instruction one? Did you do that with the Bet Model Employee video?
Maybe. We may have done that one.
That was one that me and some neighbors did.
And we used to do Shanghai as well, the one where he goes up in the ship and he gets caught by the flying. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And on that
Eye of despair.
Here we are again on Tuesday evening. Welcome everybody once again to another episode of Crafting and Chat. We are on episode 91 here. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. If it's not, I will fix it next week.
Accurate.
Yeah.
It's 91.
No, he'll just make it work out.
Alright, that's fine.
You have that kind of money.
I do, 110%. Not too many people know this. I mean, I am right under Mr. Bezos, in terms of money, obviously. That's why this podcast is so well funded. That's why we're sitting on fine upholstery.
Well funded. We all have different mics. And no editor.
Now, hold on. Now, do we really have different mics? We're all using PlayStation 5s technically.
First of all, don't tell them we're well funded, all right? We're not paying these two.
That's right. I don't need to be paid.
See?
No. Well,
we're not well funded. We're broke.
I mean, listen, any subscription will help us. If you can get us to 50 subscribers and we can finally become affiliate status, that'd be great. Help us, please.
Didn't they raise that? Aren't they raising that?
Don't help us. It's a trap.
Don't Kevin, it's not a trap.
What is the trap?
Kevin changed up in his basement and he has like Target outfits down there. He comes in every other day and look with a Target outfit and says, "You want me to check the back room for you? You're in the back room, you piece of garbage." And you just look at him and you're like, "Oh God." Yes, you're in the back room, Kevin.
That was a weird scenario you made up. I don't know what was going on. Let's move on. Welcome to Crafting and Chat, episode 91.
Oh my God. Gentlemen, how we all doing tonight?
Stark back here.
What?
I said it's dark back here.
I'm doing good. I updated your signs.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yes, it's true. 100% true.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we have quite a few things to talk about tonight, but as we always do.
Really anything.
Okay, all right. But as we always do, what do we play last week, guys? Who wants to start us off?
Ooh, I'm ready. Put me in, coach.
Go ahead, player.
Hold on, I gotta remember what I played.
Go ahead, killer.
For being ready, that's an interesting way to start.
I played Tiny Tina's. I beat the story. I think I actually happened last week technically, but it's fine. It's all blurring together. Still having a blast of the game. Going for that platy now. Don't have much more to go. So, yippee.
How difficult is that platinum run?
It's super easy.
Oh. Okay.
Like, it's lengthy, but it's easy.
Oh, okay.
Basically, to get the platinum, beat the game and play enough after you beat the game to buy all the inventory upgrades and like ammunition capacity upgrade, all that stuff, and then the end game Chaos Temple. Reach a certain floor in that, and that's it. Done.
Okay, cool. I seen it on sale. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I know Kevin would be happy to have somebody else play it with him.
Yes, because I need 2 online trophies. And I would totally join a public game just to do it. It's get somebody up and trade with somebody.
What are the 2 online trophies that you have to get? Are they
just said, get someone up and trade with
them. I thought, never mind. I'm sorry. That went right over my head. I'm sorry.
Kevin, you can do those trophies split screen with the second controller.
Don't have that.
I can bring a second controller tomorrow if you want to do that.
Oh,
doesn't it work with the PlayStation? Does it not work with SharePlay?
It would probably work with share screen as well, or SharePlay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you do that with somebody who doesn't own the game?
Yeah. I don't know if most games you can. I don't know if Tiny Tina's specifically you can do it, but most likely you can.
Some games are locked out of play, but yeah, we can always try it later.
Let's try that. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I played Tiny Tina's, played more Stranger in Paradise with Genesis over here. That's been
having a ton of fun with that game. That game's a solid 8. That's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid 8 so far. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. You can clearly see where they cut the corners and all that in the game, but it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun.
And I gotta say, I read a chunk of reviews for this game, and most of them for downsides were like, man, you gotta grind a lot. And I'm after we're almost done with the main story. And I can confidently say you do not have to grind that much at all. Unless you are very specifically trying to get gear, the perfect gear for your companions, there's no reason to grind.
No, a couple of side. I think the only time we did actually grind was that side mission. That was it.
Yeah.
To get anima shards to increase our own job trees. That was it.
That, and we were getting more. Well, me anyway. I was trying to get more diverse equipment because I had a lot of the same classes and stuff, and I needed others. But the only reason really the companions are hard to get gear for is because for some unknown reason they can't use all the gear you have, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't understand why they can't do that. That's odd. There's some pieces of gear they can't touch at all.
Yeah, and I just don't understand how, because I don't believe the game ever explains why. They just have access to only a quarter of the shit, and each one of them has access to a different quarter of it. It's real bizarre.
I don't know. It has to do something with their attribute or something like that they or only compatible with certain weapons. I don't know.
Yeah,
you're right. It does a terrible job of explaining any of that, but I think it has to just do with attributes and typing.
But the reason why you don't really have to do it is because the companions kind of just do. They're not terrible no matter what they're equipped with. You don't need to deal with all the synergies and stuff because the synergy system is really for the player.
Now, if you're playing online, definitely get your synergies all together because you can create some serious damage.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Some of the combos we've been able to pull off are insane. Just, you're casting spells out of the back and I'm just punching a dude in the corner, stun locking him. I'm like, oh my god. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Good game. Anyway, I think that's all I played was those 2 games.
Yeah, I'd probably recommend that for anybody who's into some online co-op this year on any 2022 game. Buy that. Tiny Tina and that. Those are probably mine and Kevin's recommendations at that point.
Oh yeah, Tiny Tina is great. If you like Borderlands, you gotta play Tiny Tina. There's so many articles now too that are coming out talking about how it really revitalized the Borderlands series, and it's completely true. It's such a good game, and I really liked Borderlands 1. I played that in all the DLC. I didn't even finish the main story of Borderlands 2. Didn't finish the story of Borderlands 3. Barely touched the pre-sequel. This game, loving it. Can't put it down. So, like, there you go. That's gotta say something.
Yeah, I think it was on sale for like $45. I don't know. I may do it. I may do it.
All right.
I'll let you know though.
Yeah,
But cool. Who wants to go next, Adam? That's an order.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay, cool.
Been playing I played Wolf Among Us. Got the platinum in that.
Congrats.
Probably my favorite Telltale game. Really interesting. Just good story, kind of cool. Like, it introduced me to a universe I'm not really that familiar with, but had some understanding, and it just had a cool story, and the gameplay wasn't annoying like in the Batman Telltales and all that. So, highly recommend. It's only like 6 hours long.
I was gonna say how long that took you to get that
Yeah, it's about as long as any other Telltale game. You can beat it pretty quick. I think it was like 6 to 10 probably. It's fun. And then I've been playing Puppeteer. But instead of using my PS3, I've been playing it on PS Now because I have that now. So, sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it does not work really at all. It's kind of inconsistent. I also noticed an issue where if I put my PlayStation in rest mode and then I awake it and start PS Now, it says that my Now subscription expired. After Googling it, people were like, oh, you just got to renew your licenses and rebuild the database. And I was like, what if I just restart my PlayStation? And that's worked 4 times so far. And it's happened 4 times as well. After I just keep putting my PlayStation rest mode, and then the next time I turn it on, I'm like, I want to play Puppeteer, and then I go to start it, and it says the same thing, and I'm like, ah, crap. So I have to restart and stuff, which kind of sucks, but it takes only a couple seconds, really. But yeah, playing that, getting some trophies, pretty close to beating it. Probably not going to go for the platinum, but just having some fun, cleaning it up. Haven't really done anything else, really. But that's it.
Cool. That's an order. You want to go next?
Yeah.
What you been doing?
A bunch of League. Because there's this stupid battle pass that I was trying to finish, and I had to end up paying. I ended up paying more money because I couldn't finish what I needed to get in the battle pass. So, but that's done. So, other than that, just a little bit Elden Ring here and there.
Cool. Making progress on that.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten too much further. I didn't really beat any other bosses. I'm just like trying to find bosses, I guess. Just like running around the map, finding these small camps, trying to see what's there, and then I found this area where there's these giant hands, and they're like 2 hands in one. There's a left side and a right side, but they're conjoined, and they like scurry at you with their fingers, and they're like, it's kind of like Crazy Hand from Melee and Master Hand from Smash Bros.
Weird. Are they guarding something?
It's like 2 hands, but no, they're just normal enemies, and they're just giant hands. And then there's really tiny hands that bait you into walking at them, and then the big hand either comes out of the ground or falls down from the side of a wall, and they kill you pretty quick.
Interesting.
Unless you get behind them and just kill them, like slash them to death.
Is there any particular reason to kill them? Like, do they drop anything significant or specific?
I mean, if you don't kill them, they can kill you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you're just trying to make your way past
through.
them.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. That's what. Okay. Cool. Wow. Well, hopefully you beat the crap out of those hands.
Yeah, I got through that part. It took probably an hour or two, but I got through that, and I'm like on this next upper part of the same area, and there's like these blue spirit looking enemies, that spirit knight things that spawn on this network of bridges. So I got past that just by running through and going up into the elevator. But now I'm at this new area where these giant wolves that literally have like no time for you to attack them. So I'm like actually just sneaking around them instead of even trying to fight.
Oh.
Which I guess is a cool addition to the gameplay in
Okay.
these. It's not just like running past or fighting everything. You can actually just like sneak through the bushes and crouch and walk around them and just not even have to fight them. It's cool.
Okay. Cool. All right. I have finally beaten Horizon Forbidden West. Got the platinum.
Whoa!
It's about time. I gotta say, that is my game of the year for 2022. I think I can safely say that, regardless of whatever else, unless somehow Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out this year. But obviously, that's not the case.
No.
But I think that is my game of the year for this year. I will go into more spoiler talk and once I'm done with the segment here. But I absolutely enjoy the game. I think it is in every single possible way a better game than Zero Dawn, and it definitely did not deserve an 88. I would have thought it would have been at least a 93, 94. But hey, that's just my personal, take on the game. I'm sure others will tell you different, obviously. But then after that, I started SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated Edition. It's an easy platinum. It's not long. It's about 10 to 12 hours of a platinum. So it's basically your standard platform, just going around collecting things and this and that. So I was like, you know what? I'll take a break from hardcore games like Horizon and things like that. I'll just kind of do this for now and then. I know Adam and I think at this point now Kevin, and maybe Desinoto, maybe we'll all jump into this Dark Anthology and maybe get through that day by day. I don't think we could all do it in one sitting, but we do some things here and there in Dark Anthology. And I think after that, I really want to. I may want to start up Tales of Arise or maybe start the medium. Don't know yet, but so far just playing SpongeBob. It is what you expect out of a THQ Nordic game. It's okay. It's a decent platformer here and there. Some of the voice acting is just absolutely atrocious. I can't even believe that was allowed. Mr. Krabs, I'm looking at you. I can't believe you're allowed to speak that way. It's terrible. And then the game's SpongeBob. I guess that's all I can say about it.
Is the comedy there? Like, is the humor there?
Yeah. Some of the things that he says definitely funny. Especially Patrick. Some of the things that Patrick says, actually, I'm surprised at how well they did the comedy in that. Patrick and SpongeBob are the only two funny ones. Larry tries to be funny. He's terrible. Mr. Krabs is not Mr. Krabs. Sandy doesn't really speak too much except for Texas and lassos and barns and cows and stuff like that.
Just like Sandy in the original, in the beginning of the show.
See, she doesn't even mention the karate stuff. Like, she does the karate stuff in the game, but she really doesn't even talk about karate, which is weird. I'm like, what? Gary is, I think, the mastermind. Yeah, he is 100% the mastermind. Not evil, like, meaning he is helping you, like, pulling strings for you and things like that for, to help you get through levels. Definitely 100%. Plankton's the villain. I mean, he's there. Yeah, it's a decent game. If anybody downloaded it on Plus, I would highly recommend. It's a pretty simple platinum. Just go ahead and do it. Takes about 10 hours. Takes a couple of hours a day, and probably finish it in about 3 or 4 days, and you'll be done. Not bad platinum. I would definitely do it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So we do have a couple things we want to talk about today. I know the entire panel has not played Horizon Forbidden West, but I do want to kind of get this out of the way first. I really want to give my final thoughts on the game. Kevin, I know you started Forbidden West. You've not finished it, obviously. I know that. I hope you don't mind if I talk about
Nope.
spoilers or anything like that. Okay, cool. And Desinoto, I think you have the game in the box. I don't know if you ever intend on finishing Zero Dawn and playing Forbidden West, but I hope you also don't mind if I talk about spoilers here. And for anybody else watching the podcast, it's been long enough. You should have played the game, should have picked it up already. Sorry, spoiler talk's coming out now. So I think we started it early. I started it last week anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point. So Horizon 2 definitely sets up the third game in a very, very big way, and introduces the actual threat that we have been, looking to see since the first game. Obviously, the first game, we didn't even know that it would ever reach this extent of people, coming back from a space, a very long space voyage that had been on another planet that had reached sentient god mode and all this,
I mean, there were theories of them coming back.
Of course. But I think in the first couple hours of Zero Dawn, I mean, you're playing as Aloy, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go for this proving, and I'm gonna be the best.
No.
Nobody would ever thought that the story would have ever gone this way, and I really have to give Guerrilla a round of applause for the story that they have made here. Fantastic story. Aloy is a fantastic character. Just the amount of things that she's going through, I can't wait to see what she goes through in the third game. But we've been introduced to Nemesis now, which is the sentient AI that is comprised of the original Zeniths that basically had gotten their consciousness into one mass, and that mass gained its own thoughts and understanding for everything, and decided to say that all the remaining Zeniths are a poison to the universe, so I'm going to go exterminate them. Or actually, I don't think it's a poison. Any life. I think at that point it's like, yeah, all life must be destroyed. Literally, the AI is the only thing that should remain at that point. But it is a giant, and when I say giant, it is a huge ball of just some sort of data mass. It's insane. And this thing took down god-level people who had achieved immortality, and, they can fly, and they can form weapons, and just insane. They have all these abilities, and they got wiped out in like mere days, I think. I don't even think it was days. But they decided to come back to Earth and use Earth as a pit stop to gather what they needed to gather and continue running from this AI, because this AI has been chasing them down for years. I dare I say, probably even centuries at this point, because it was quite a long journey. Although I looked up, no, it wasn't. I looked up a video last night, and I think it was like 17 years they traveled.
Yeah, that's what. It's 8.6.
Right, because that was
years.
Yeah, that was the time it took for the signal to hit the Earth, and then another 8-something years for it to hit back where it originally came from. Which we thought it was the Zeniths sending a signal out that, hey, Hades needs to be overridden and reprogrammed, but it wasn't the Zeniths. It was Nemesis. I don't know how in the world they're going to fight this thing, because if it took down god level people, I mean, she's a human. She's got no crazy abilities. She's a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, but she does not have any superhuman capabilities here.
I would say she does have some crazy abilities. Like, she's pretty well versed in technology and super athletic, but also, like, I'm curious how they're going to portray Nemesis in the third game, and if the answer is just don't use technology, because what can Nemesis going to show up and be a tank? Like, it really depends on what Nemesis looks like.
Yeah, he or she or it, whatever it is, can possibly just take over any technology you have. I mean, they're already primitive as it is, because they're it's kind of a restart for humanity at that point. I mean, until she came along and introduced focuses to the tribes, which now all the companions are taking those focuses back and really going back to the tribes and telling people that this is the reality of things. Like, this is what's going on. People, they didn't know anything like that. They used to believe in the land gods, and they used to think that there was a derangement of machines, and that's what was causing a lot of issues and all that garbage. They used to think that Gaia was some mother in those caves that only she could, like, Aloy could open because she was a child of Gaia or something like that. Which technically she is. I mean, she's a clone, so.
Well, they thought the mountain was like
mountain.
a god. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Oh, yeah,
Mother.
the All Mother Mountain. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, the ending of this game, just this is very much a huge bridge between the first and now the third. And if they tend to end it on a trilogy, I mean, this is going to be one crazy ending for this. And I hope they go all out. I really do. I hope Guerrilla goes 110% out, like crazy out to their vision that they want, they want to have. And that they don't hold back. I hope they don't hold anything back when they're doing this, because it'd be a shame. They've done so well with the first and second game. Just end it in a banger and really go all out and give everything you've got to us as the players. The machines, I think my favorite machine in this entire game is probably a Dreadwing. The Dreadwings are awesome. They're insane. Second, Slaughter Spine, and last is the Thunderjaw. Those are my three that I would probably want
no
to.
love for the Tremor Tusk?
I'm not.
You don't fight enough of them.
I fought. What did I fight? Like 4 of them at this 4 or 5 of them at this point.
Yeah.
I've killed almost 1,000 machines, so there's that. I'm a murderer. So the Tremor Tusk for me never really stuck out. Like, it's a tank. It's great. It's huge. It's got weapons on it. All that. That's amazing. There's something though with a Dreadwing that it can detect you even if you're in the grass, if you're invisible, all that. It's got the radar in it. Plus, it can camouflage very well versus like a stalker. And I mean, it can weaken you. It can fly. It can poison you. It can do all sorts of things to you, and it's insane. Same thing, Slaughter Spine. Slaughter Spine is just a much more well improved Thunderjaw. That thing's got stomping capability. Like the cutscene where the machines had the war with each other with the Spectres and Slaughter Spines. You just see a Slaughter Spine turn around, step on a Spectre, and then like grab the other one out with his mouth and throw it over his shoulder. I'm like, dude, that's sick.
I would say I prefer a Tremor Tusk over a Thunderjaw in your top 3.
Really?
Yeah, I've never. I like Thunderjaws. I just never like their fights. I think in the first game, especially, I think that it was always. I was always trying to run away, and no matter what distance I was at, I never felt like. I don't want to say safe, but it just felt like I wasn't doing the correct thing ever. And then even in this game, I think the Thunderjaws are massively improved. But at the same time, I still don't think their fights are quite as fun as you think they are. That's just a personal preference. Like, it's the same thing with the turtle. I didn't think the turtle was as fun to fight. Because often it would just go underground and then pop up and roll, and like it's too big for me to do an animation to get away from it, and I would get hit, and I'd be like, why did I get hit? Like, how am I supposed to dodge this or that? And the Tremor Tusk, I was like, this is a fair fight, this is a fun fight. Slaughter Spine, I thought the same thing, and I honestly thought the Rock Breaker was much improved in this game as well, compared to the first.
I never liked the Rock Breaker, but I can understand where you're coming from.
I still don't like the Rock Breaker, but I think they're much improved.
My top 3 worst, definitely, God, Fire Claws up there. Oh my God, those things are just a pain to fight. They are so, they can reach you no matter where you are. It's insane how much they can reach you.
I think Frostclaw would be my number 1 fight, honestly.
Worst fight, really?
No,
Or
number
best fight?
one, best fight, yeah.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I think it's a challenge, but I also think it's fun, and I think a lot of its moves are dodgeable. Fireclaw, I do agree with you. Because
That is
those
just,
things hate. That's all they do is hate.
they despise your soul.
Yeah.
They just want to take a piss on your grave. They want to kill you and take
Like a burning
giant,
pistol.
a giant fiery dump on your grave, and just hopefully it burns a hole into your casket and then falls all over you. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they hope. That's what they hope.
The monkeys, what are they called?
Clamorjaws, really? They were that bad?
Only because there were like 4 or 5 of them, and then they'd run at you, hit you, and run away. And I'm like, I hate
took care of
you.
them pretty easily.
I do agree that they were easy to kill, but at the same time, like, if you're just walking, then all of a sudden, what the fuck? It was a lot of surprise attacks, a lot of cheap shots they take.
Talking about cheap shots, let me tell you the worst that takes cheap shots. The godforsaken Slitherfang. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the worst.
They're look, don't get me wrong. Any of these machines, none of them can ever be placed on a worst looking machines list. They are all gorgeous. They are all fantastic looking machines. Especially the Slitherfang. That thing is insane looking. But it is one of the most unenjoyable, is that a word? No, not enjoyable fights that I have to go through.
It's the rock breaker of this game.
Yes, it is right after the Fireclaw. They just move too much. They take up so much space. And they can close the gap between you and them almost instantly. It's insane. And their weak spots, not many, honestly speaking. It's their hood that they have, and their earth grinders underneath their fangs.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they have is weak spots. You can't remove the electricity, and the electricity that they have is just so cheap. It hits the ground and then splits into like 6 different directions that can all.
And then it locks you up and you fall back.
Oh my god. It's terrible. It's terrible. I love the machine. The machine's cool, but I hate the fights. One that I thought I would hate is a Tide Ripper, but as I kept fighting more and more Tide Rippers, it ended up being good.
Yeah, only the first Tide Ripper gave me issues, and then I think you said the second or third is the one that gave you issues.
The one in the cauldron.
Yeah, I think you fought it second or third.
That one gave me so much issues. I think I died 6 times to that. Yeah,
the first one I only died once, but I was literally locked in an animation because its water kept turning on and knocking me down. And I'm like, this is so dumb.
My last terrible fight, I think, is the Spectres. They're cool, they're amazing, but I don't like fighting Spectres. They're just really annoying. They move way quicker than even you can possibly aim. You got to be precise with the shots, and the only weak spots they have, which if you take them off, they can just reattach them, which that gives me nightmares of what other machines are going to be like in Horizon 3.
I thought I would hate the Spectres, but I actually really enjoyed the Spectres. Once I found that, what are they weak to? Acid or?
Yeah, corrosive damage.
Yeah. Once I found that out, I used that, the warrior bow, is it? The small one that's quick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used that, got that up, used explosions, took them out pretty quick. I honestly thought they were really cool. They were really cool looking, too. I kind of hope in the third game we kind of expand on that technology since they left some of it behind. But yeah, the only thing I didn't like was Spectre Prime, which is the end. I thought that was a horrible fight.
I enjoyed it. I didn't have it bad. I can understand why you thought.
I found it easy. I just didn't like the fight. I just was like, this is dumb. It doesn't. I think it's the worst looking. It's the most generic. It's just this. It's a Spectre with more limbs and a little more tall. Like, it's not. I was expecting to be like, oh my god, what is that? But instead, I was like, wait, really? Oh, okay. Well, And then the fight ended, and I was like, yeah, it was kind of dumb.
I want to see what else they can do, like what other robots they can make. I'm pretty sure they haven't run out of all dinosaur species, and I know they're doing other animals too, like a Scorcher too.
Yeah.
The Ravager, things like. I mean, they're not specifically dinosaurs, so I'm pretty sure they haven't run out of all the species that they can try. I can't wait to see what other enhancements they give these machines. I was playing on hard difficulty, and I got to a point where I was doing pretty well. I still die with like one or two hits, but like I got to a decent point where I was doing good damage on some of these machines. I personally, I think I'd enjoy a little bit of a difficulty spike in hard mode, but I don't know. That's my own opinion. Overall, though, solid 93, 94 for this game. It is got me so hyped for Horizon 3, and I when I tell the panel and the audience when Horizon 3 trailer does get revealed, Adam and I will be screaming wherever we are sitting, and we will be just dying altogether.
Yeah. Also, real quick, shout out to the wide maw. I forgot.
I know.
I gotta shout that out. Yeah. Oh, also, did anybody else buy the Lego tall neck?
I did not. I saw you posted it up in the chat, but I
didn't. Yeah, it went on sale May 1st. I bought it at 12:02 a.m. May 1st, on the Lego website, and then they were like, "Hey, order secured." And then I got an email today being like, "Hey, the item's sold out, so your order's not going to be shipped until the end of May." And I was like, "What the?" I mean, I have no plans to open and build it anytime soon, but I was like, "This is rude."
Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, a little family show, but
little stuff.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it is a little rude, but I'm happy I got it. I'm excited. Excited to have that.
Did Campfire buy one as well, or no?
Campfire, interesting. No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to think of two words, and I was gonna say Calamity, but I'm like, I think we use Calamity.
We've used that one.
Yeah, Campfire, we didn't use that.
We might have used Campfire at one point, honestly.
I don't think so.
I don't remember us saying Campfire.
Yeah, I'm good with Campfire either way.
Yeah, it was gonna be that or Cacophony or something like that, but I think we used something similar.
Yeah, Cacophony is one we didn't use.
But yeah, okay, now that that's out of the way.
That's all right. I got his next one.
All right, well, we'll save that for next week. Stay tuned.
I gotta share it so that someone remembers for me. It's cellulitis.
All right, I'll have to write that one down, and we'll have to remember that for next week. Cellulitis, okay. All right.
Cellulitis.
All right, I like it.
I don't know what that is, but it's some disease.
Something. So with the Horizon getting out of the way now, I like to talk to the panel and ask the panel. I'm sure everybody's seen the news already. Embracer Group. Let's talk about them for a minute. Embracer Group has bought a couple of IPs and the studios from Square Enix. Not limited to Tomb Raider, Deus Ex. Why am I saying this last one? There's another big one that came out of that. People help me out here. What's the third one? Another big name one? Ooh, I can't remember. Anyway, Eidos Montreal obviously came out of that. Also, Crystal Dynamics. $300 million was the transaction for this. It's not it's a chunk of Square at that point, which will lead to discussion of other things, but just kind of wanted to get the panel's opinion on what does that sound like in the gaming world? What does that look like to us? And is it something we should be looking at? Also, the people who bought, Embracer Group bought them. They have been buying other things in the past. I believe Adam had brought it up at one point, and I can't remember right now what they had bought as of a few years ago at this point. Not even a couple of years ago at this point.
The SpongeBob game you're playing, THQ Nordic.
There you go. Yeah. Thoughts?
Gearbox.
Discussions?
They own Gearbox.
Yes, they
So
do.
Tiny Tina.
Embracer Group. They are they have quite the arsenal under their belt at this point. As far as publisher, right? They're a publisher or developer? No, they're publisher.
They're a media holdings company.
Oh, okay.
They own publishers.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
What do we
Embracer
think,
Group is basically just like a finance company.
That's a good way to put it. Finance company. Thoughts. Words. Sounds. Yeah, those interesting sounds I heard.
I guess I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I mean, 300 million for those IPs seems like a steal, but then they also put out like what each company has made. Square Enix has not managed their Western developers all that well. And the profits that they made are either slim or none. Over the past like 5-10 years for all their Western developers. I think that I'm glad that they've been sold to a company that seems like they might bring some of those IP back. Like
it took Guardians and it took Avengers. I'm sorry, that was the one I was missing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like THQ Nordic, after being purchased by the Embracer Group, they actually managed to get more funding for a lot of the games, and they have a lot of old IPs. And then that SpongeBob Rehydrated only came out because the original game was like a speedrunners thing, and there was a community effort getting it remade. So THQ Nordic was like, all right, we'll remake it. So the game you're currently playing is because they were like, we can make this for the right price and get it out there and make enough profit. I kind of see it as movies. You have these small, like, Blumhouse productions. They're smaller movies. They're usually pretty cool. They're made for 5 to 10 million. They go to the box office, and they can make 20, 30 million, or they can make 150 million. It's not a huge investment, but it's possibly high profits. And it's nice to see games that, like, you might see a new Deus Ex eventually. When they were at Square Enix, they were like, we have no plans for Deus Ex in the future. Now they might have plans for Deus Ex. It would take some years, but I think there's new hope for those franchises. So it's cool. Also, they all remain multi-platform, unless some Microsoft buys Embracer Group. Yeah, I doubt they will. But
that's an interesting situation. I mean, you're looking at a financial company that has a ton of different IPs under them. That would be, if I was Microsoft, that would be something that I'd be like,
I'm not going to even entertain that. No, they wouldn't. That's not.
Listen,
no, they wouldn't.
There are crazier things that have happened, but you're probably right. I don't think that would happen.
No, yeah, they're not in a position where they need to sell, and they're purchasing more and more, and they're having a great time. Like, they're okay. But anyways, yeah, it's just, I think it's cool that, hey, maybe a Thief game will be made, or maybe we already know another Tomb Raider is being made, and it's cool that it's not going to be trapped in like a PlayStation exclusive or an Xbox exclusive. It's cool that it's going to remain. I mean, they could still make deals with each company, but it's cool that everything's still going to be multi-platform.
I think I remember reading Microsoft paid like $100 million to have Tomb Raider on their consoles first when it originally came out, to fight Uncharted at that point, but that obviously didn't pan out the way they wanted it to pan out.
Sure. But yeah, no, I don't see this as a bad thing. I still don't like consolidation of the games industry, but this isn't the worst one, I don't think. Also, Square Enix is still alive. They're just Japanese developers only now.
Yeah, the Western games never really sold. I mean, it was always the Japanese games
I
that
mean,
sold
a lot
the
of them
most.
did sell. That's the thing. Like, a lot of them did actually sell quite well. They just didn't know how to invest into them to make the sales make sense. Like, Deus Ex sold 11 million copies or something like that was published in here, and they made like a 7% profit or something like that. Like, the numbers are stupid.
I think I read too. Square Enix lost $200 million in Avengers. I mean, that's not far fetched at that point because you gotta remember how bad that game did. But they did not know how to make that project, or not make. I'm sorry, how to manage that project wisely and then make it what it should have been, which, you know, when it came out wasn't what people wanted at all, especially after all the information from the beta and the feedback and all that stuff that they got. They still went ahead and did everything they had to do. The same thing with Balan Wonderland, the same thing with, oh god, there was another one that they just released that people were like, you shouldn't, Babylon's Fall, same thing.
What's interesting about the Balan Wonderlands, though, is the game director just sued Square Enix.
Yeah, because he got thrown out of the game.
Yeah, and the game was put out incomplete and rushed. So yeah, Square Enix clearly just did not have a grasp on anything they were doing in the West.
Now, if you talk to them about Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts or Dragon Quest, those are things that they know what they're doing with them. They know that they want to make money on those. They know what they're doing with those. But everything else just seems to be all over the place for them. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Forspoken later on this year, how well it ends up coming out, because it seems like they listened, they made some changes, they delayed the game, they're polishing it up, all that stuff. So I want to see what that turns into. But now that that's happened, it's going to be. I want to see where they take that money and they put it, because 300 million is by no means a small amount. They can easily throw it at their studios that they have right now and fund their studios a bit better. But let's see what they do with the 300 million.
Oh, by the way, the $200 million loss was not just Avengers. It was both Marvel games, Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers.
Thank you for the clarification, yes.
Yeah,
thank you.
I actually just looked it up because I did see an article about it, but I didn't actually read it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I skimmed through it a bit and I saw Avengers, and then I didn't read the Guardians of the Galaxy part. Even though Guardians did better than Avengers, definitely by a long shot.
We don't know that.
I thought it sold more than Avengers.
There's no numbers for either.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I must have been looking at something else. Kevin, what do you think about Inversa Group?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, they got Square Enix now. Square Enix is very hit or miss with their games, so good luck to them. That's really about it. I mean, I don't really think that this is huge news. It certainly is news. But I don't know. It's not this groundbreaking thing that we're still supposedly waiting for. And yeah.
Okay. Desinota, you got any thoughts on this?
No.
Okay. Now that they've bought those IPs, Square Enix is in an interesting situation where a lot of the rumors are coming up saying that they may potentially be bought by PlayStation. That would be the next big acquisition that was rumored a few weeks back across the gaming journalism, Twitter and Reddit and all that. It puts them in an interesting situation because now they're primarily just a Japanese developer, which Sony is definitely less prominent in Japan now, or yeah, that's the correct phrasing for that. Less prominent in Japan, where they're not as heavily focused as they once were in the past. They're more focused on the Western titles that they have out right now. Buying Square Enix, I think, would be a good buy for them. Help them out, especially gain traction back in Japan. Also, their IPs are invaluable. I mean, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts have all been staples of PlayStation ever since the PS2. Only recently achieving multi-plat. I would think that they want to keep, especially with 16 in the horizon, they want to keep that an exclusive. They want to, start doubling down on some of these games, staying on PC, PlayStation, things like that, where the only place you can play them is on the console or with the service. I think that's probably a big acquisition. I know Kevin was saying before, it doesn't sound like even that is even going to be a sizable acquisition, because if that's the one that they were talking about, that's not big. To some people it is, some people it isn't. I've read different opinions online where people are like, oh my god, if they buy Square Enix, that's quite a bit of IPs and titles under their name. Yeah. And I think Sony having all that under their belt would benefit from that. Not that they need additional IPs, but like just that Japanese focus would help them again. But any thoughts on that portion of it, where Square Enix may potentially be bought? I mean, it could also be bought by Microsoft. Who knows? Microsoft will turn around and be like, hey, we might do that. But I don't think they're looking to do anything big right now, since the whole Activision thing going on with them. I don't even know what a price tag would be put on Square Enix at this point, since they just sold part of what they had for $300 million. I don't even know a ballpark price. Maybe, I don't know, they bought Bungie for what, $2 billion, $3 billion?
3 point something, I believe.
Yeah. Square would have to be in the double digits of billions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about double digits, but
I'd at least say a 10 to 15. That's what I would say.
I wouldn't.
They have enough IPs where that's a decent enough price to buy them. And with Sony also, what you think what they'd be worth in the single digits?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a multi-million-dollar franchise that is Final Fantasy alone. That IP alone is able to settle gangbusters.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be double digits at all.
Yeah.
I think 5 would be the highest for Square Enix.
Really? I would think Capcom's like 5. Capcom's like 5 or 7.
Capcom has bigger things than Square.
They've been recently doing bigger things than Square now, because a lot of their franchises have been revitalized.
I mean, Capcom has Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, it has Mega Man, it has Street Fighter. Like, all 4 of those are almost the scale of Final Fantasy right now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not Mega Man, but
Square
has Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts,
Dragon Quest, Romancing Saga.
Dragon Quest is not that big.
Hey, it's not here in Japan. It's bigger. I mean, there's 14 iterations of them. Definitely, it's not.
There's a lot more,
yeah,
I think, but I'm not sure if Dragon Warrior and Dragon Quest relate.
Chrono Trigger also they have.
Yeah, but they're never gonna freaking make Chrono Break apparently. So
there are other things too that they have. Forspoken, obviously, they have. Now the new IPs they're trying to make, things like that, which we'll see how those do. But I think Square's overall influence is a bit bigger than Capcom's. Capcom's definitely got very sizable IPs.
According to the internet, Square Enix is worth about $3.5 billion. Capcom is worth $5.6.
Really?
Yeah, I think we've had this conversation before, where you both took.
Games appeal to a broader audience.
Capcom also does other stuff, though.
Well, they do. They own a lot of.
Yeah, that's where their money.
Dragon's Dogma.
Don't they also own is it Capcom
Monster Hunter?
Has a bunch of pinball shit.
No, that's Konami with the gacha machines.
That's Konami. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think a week or two ago I was like, yeah, Konami seems like the next buy, but Square has been putting themselves in a position where it looks like they're ready to do that. A lot of people are also saying that the whole selling of those IPs and studios to Embracer Group is in preparation for them to be bought, and that the deal is already done. We just have yet to hear about it because they're finalizing things now.
Sure, but I don't know. I fail to see how this breaks the internet. I fail to see how this is big news. Because Microsoft's just going to turn around and buy a giant chunk of Ubisoft, and that would be bigger news.
This is true. This is
All
also
right.
true.
So when we talk in terms of breaking the internet, let's do a quick poll here. What broke the internet more? Microsoft buying Activision or Sony buying Bungie?
Microsoft buying Activision.
Microsoft buying Activision.
You are both incorrect.
There's no way.
Sony buying. I know. I was shocked when I read this too. Sony buying Bungie was more tweeted about and more talked about on the internet than Microsoft buying Activision.
It's got to be because Bungie was originally Microsoft, and then Sony's like, oh, we're buying them and we're keeping them independent, not just taking them over.
People are just bizarre. Bungie literally makes one game, Destiny.
Which is insane. And that's shocking that they've talked about that more than Microsoft buying the people who make Call of Duty and all the older Spyro, Crash, things like that.
Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard while Activision Blizzard was already in the spotlight.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me.
That's
that somehow
absolutely
PlayStation
insane.
Buying Bungie
Wild,
has
right?
less people talking about it.
Yeah.
Because you like, unless they were really being specific about tweets that were going on, like the context of them, I mean, it's just wild to me. So I guess I'll take it all back because it makes no sense as to why this is a big deal. It's gonna be the biggest deal on the internet. There you go. Apparently, that's how people think. So,
I mean, I think it really came down to how they approach the situation too, because keeping them independent got people talking like, oh, they're not just taking them over, they're just.
Highly doubt people actually read, but yes.
I don't doubt you. Even this audience, whoever watches this, I'm sure they don't read a lot of things as it is, but
because the only thing that brought me to actually read anything about that was why do you buy Bungie? Because I know that all they're doing is making Destiny. And then I read the articles and I was like, oh, you're not really buying them necessarily to like own them. You're like, here you go. Now share info with us. Help us out.
Mm-hmm. They want to improve their studios. They want to expand.
Yeah. They want to improve,
which is smart. Smart way to do it.
Their skill group or skill sets, not skill group, and at the same time be like, hey, here's some more funding. Go nuts.
And Bungie is effectively part of the PlayStation family. Now, I don't think a Destiny game will ever have a PlayStation Studios branding on it. That may change in the future, but I don't think they ever will. The live service games that we get from PlayStation will forever be, in quotations, better quality than what you'd get from others. I think I can safely say that because of the education they'll get from them, and the amount of skills they'll learn, their studios will learn, and things like that from Bungie. PlayStation's playing a different game than Microsoft, and this has been the case the entire time. PlayStation's playing a more like constructive game of, I want to improve what I have and make those, like, build upon those. Where Microsoft is playing the quantity game. The more they can get, the more they can put on Game Pass, the more people will buy Game Pass, and that's what we do. So that's why, even though I know it was a joke, if they bought Embracer Group, that's a no-brainer for them, because they have countless IPs under them that would just immediately hop on the Game Pass. Are they looking to do that? I don't think so, but they're probably going to be looking to do something like that.
Out of curiosity, you want to see how in touch we are with the top 10 games tweeted about in Q1 of 2022?
Please, go ahead.
Anybody have any guesses? No specific positions, but any guesses at all?
The top 10 games. Hold on.
The top 10 games tweeted about in Q1 of 2022.
Horizon's got to be up there.
World of Warcraft Shadowlands. I think it was called Shadowlands.
Halo would definitely still be up there.
Halo Infinite.
Pokemon Legends of Arceus.
Q1. When does Q1 end?
March. End of March.
Okay.
You think Final Fantasy would be on there? Stranger of Paradise?
Hell no.
No.
Returnal.
Returnal would have definitely been on there, yeah.
Tessano, do you got any guesses?
Resident Evil 8.
That would have been on there.
What? Right Resident Evil 8? Why would Resident Evil 8 be on there?
A bunch of rumors.
They still have no freaking DLC released.
Okay. Interesting.
Definitely been talked about.
Alright.
Street Fighter 6.
I really thought Destinoda would have one, considering what he's doing.
What was the question? Sorry, I couldn't.
Top 10 games tweeted about globally, Q1 of 2022.
Elden
Thank you. Do you guys want to know?
The universe or whatever?
You guys want to know how many you got right now?
One.
Correct. Do you know what it is?
Elden Ring.
Correct.
Jeez,
that's why I said you want to see how out of touch we are. Number 10. Look where we are. We're in Minecraft. Minecraft is the 10th most tweeted game in Q1 of 2022. Number 9. Knives Out the game. Not related to the movie.
Wow.
So we're super out of touch.
I don't even know what that is. So
I think a lot of these are mobile games, or a lot of these are going to be mobile games, obviously. FGO Project. Elden Ring was 7. Pi Sakai is 6. 5, Final Fantasy. People like tweeting about Final Fantasy. No specific game, but Final Fantasy was tweeted out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, Apex. Apex Legends.
Apex.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they added a whole bunch of shit in the game.
Anybody want to guess the top 3?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Vampire Survivors might be up there.
Nope.
Shocking.
Was GTA 5 up there? No.
No. Nope.
Interesting.
League of
Pokemon?
Legends.
Nope.
Counter-Strike.
Nope.
Fortnite.
Shockingly, no.
Oh.
Nobody tweets about Fortnite.
Number 3, which I assume we don't know, is Ensemble Stars. I assume that's a Japanese or a Chinese thing. I'm not sure. Kevin and I are familiar with number 2, Wordle. Now, does number 1... everyone forgets about this game because of how big it is, but the number 1 most tweeted about game globally in Q1 of 2022 is Genshin Impact.
I forgot about that.
That game is big.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is absolutely enormous, Kevin.
That game is awful. There's nothing good about that game.
Man.
But listen, man, the what do you call it? I don't want to use that term. What's the word I'm looking for? No.
I don't know.
The demographic of people who are playing that game. It's not even a specific. No, shut up. I'm trying to be correct. I'm not trying to get canceled. It is a specific. I'm sorry. It is not even a specific demographic. Anybody, mobile device, a Switch, a PlayStation, a computer, an Xbox, will be trying Genshin Impact. That game is huge for what it is, and I think a lot of the traction from that game obviously comes from anime. 1, 2, a lot of people compare it art style and gameplay wise to Breath of the Wild. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Yeah, he's right.
That is what they compare it to, and that is why, not the sole reason,
Some people
but
just don't play video games.
It is one of the reasons why it's gotten so much attention.
No, the people who are playing Genshin Impact have not played Breath of the Wild.
No, they
because
have.
they do not play anything alike.
Oh, they have.
Genshin Impact is closer to Phantasy Star Online than anything
else. I would agree with that. Considering I've seen and tried Phantasy Star Online, yes, I would agree with that.
It is not even close to Breath of the Wild in any way.
And it's the same people who are playing the Nintendo consoles, the PlayStation consoles, and the Xbox console, and the casual mobile gamers.
There's a reason Sony put Aloy in Genshin Impact.
Popularity and exposure.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Genshin Impact is huge. That's what I was saying. You wanted to see how out of touch we are? Yeah. I mean,
that's crazy.
I guess, if you want to call it that.
That's
most of those are random crazy. Mobile games I've never even heard of.
It depends. Yeah, just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean they're huge. Doesn't mean they're not huge. Okay. We live in a bubble.
What you mean by depends what you mean by out of touch, because we are not casual gamers.
No, Kevin is correct.
So now filter that out to the hardcore gaming community.
Elden Ring is probably the top of the list when you're talking about hardcore gamers.
I would say Final Fantasy is, because Final Fantasy was the more tweeted than Elden Ring.
I do find it very interesting. Don't get me wrong, Adam. That is eye-opening and shocking.
100%.
But
it's crazy to see how. I don't want to
necessarily call us out of touch. I don't think we're that far out of touch when we can predict.
I'm not saying
we're before it happens.
I'm not saying we're out of touch in regards to, hey, this is what people want and what people like. I'm saying out of touch as in, yes.
Like with the business aspect of it.
Yeah, business.
Because mobile games, you got to remember, Kevin, mobile games are taking over the market.
They dominate everything.
They already took over the market.
Oh, sorry. Yes, correct.
They will have it until doomsday.
Yeah. Yeah, because everybody who's got access to a smartphone can play a game on it now.
But I just thought it was wild that, like, in our world, like, I thought the Activision acquisition was huge. I thought it was the biggest gaming news of 2022. I still think it is. But then I looked at that and I'm like, oh, it didn't even matter. The Activision acquisition, got 2 A's, they're screwing me up. That was tweeted about less than Elden Ring's launch.
You're kidding.
I am not. That's why it is so crazy. Sometimes we talk about stuff, we come on here and we're like, what's going on? What's happening? Wow, this is earth-shattering news. So when we say break the internet, like, we're talking about in our community. And the reason I just wanted to point that out, Kevin, is you were like, what's going to break the internet? Like, I don't think if Square Enix is bought by Sony, is that going to break the internet? It might break our portion of the internet, but also it does break a portion of the gaming news internet, because that's how big PlayStation is. Because it's much bigger than Xbox still. It's huge. It's worldwide. It's a worldwide phenomenon. People can recognize the PlayStation symbol much more broadly and quickly than the Xbox symbol is recognized worldwide. So it's just wild how, like, the term of break the internet is, you could throw it around so much, but in terms of how we use it, we just mean in our little community. Is this going to break the internet? Because nothing's really ever going to break the internet on a whole ever again. Because everything's in a bubble, unless the internet actually breaks.
Yeah. Hold on.
Apple bought Sony or something, or if Google decides to just buy up everybody, then that's something that breaks.
If Apple bought Sony, that's huge American news, because you remember that Apple is really only popular in the United States.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's a whole world out there. Like, every single person lives in a bubble, and it just goes into a different bubble of a different bubble of a different bubble. Like, the same information.
Hole of a donut hole.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin gets it, which is not the same game as the one that was on the list, but it's still Knives Out. But yeah, it's just wild. So when we say break the internet, we just mean, like, people are going to be like, wow, this is crazy. But the people we are surrounded by.
Mm-hmm. I mean, judging by the games that were most talked about, Final Fantasy, if Sony now just says, hey, guess what, guys? We own Final Fantasy. This is all ours now. I think that's pretty earth-shattering at that point. That's a huge name. That, I mean, compared to all the other games on that list that you just gave us, Final Fantasy is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one confuses the hell out of me.
I mean, Final Fantasy's got a ton of stuff in mobile right now because of the mobile games it has.
Yep.
Brave.
They just made that Final Fantasy Tactics one.
Yep.
I forget what it's called.
The Battle Royale for 7 as well, for Soldier. Shoot. There was something else too. With Final Fantasy 16 news, still people are waiting for. Also, Final Fantasy 14 and 11 both still blow up the internet with all the stuff that they have. You know, especially the comeback that Final Fantasy 14 made.
Anybody know the term "break the internet" where it came from?
No.
No.
Y2K.
No. 2014.
Oh.
When Kim Kardashian's butt was on a cover of a magazine, a lot of people started using the term "break the internet."
Oh.
Did that break the internet?
That's what they said. That's where the term was widely. I don't know. That term was widely used then. Like, how much was it tweeted? Comparatively to everything else, probably not as much.
Not as much.
Hell, I mean, Twitter doesn't even matter. Like, the thing I just read off doesn't include any, like, Chinese social networks. So, like, are those actually the most popular games tweeted about in the first quarter of 2022? Probably not. Like,
now you got the whole Chinese market still, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, does China still have social networks?
Yeah.
Oh,
heavily.
No,
they still have one. It's just they run them, and they like they. I just saw something where they blocked the first line of their national anthem. On Weibo or Weibo, whatever the one is, because people were using it.
How long?
What?
Never mind. It was a bad joke.
Okay. But yeah.
I just read something too that China is banning Spider-Man because they don't want to have the Statue of Liberty, and Sony's losing a bunch of money on that now.
You just read that news?
How long ago was that?
Well, I mean, I just sent it because that was just found out. But that is old news because the movie came out in November.
Correct.
Or December, or whatever it was.
I saw that, I was like, the next Spider-Man movie, I was like, what?
No Way Home wasn't released in China. It still made $1.8 billion worldwide. So it still did okay.
Wait, that movie didn't come out in China?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, wild, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, they wanted the Statue of Liberty to go away, and people are like, do people in China not know the Statue of Liberty exists? Excuse me? Also, it's not even really the Statue of Liberty in the movie, but it's like...
It's a statue of freedom, because it's Captain America.
Yeah, it's got a shield. I don't know. It's real dumb.
Yeah.
It's a weird reason, and then... Yeah. But the movie still made a lot of money in the U.S. and India. So, it did okay.
Gotcha. Well, that's a topic that segued into multiple different topics, so let's close that one up. Anybody else have any topics they want to discuss?
I have a question for Desonoto.
Yes.
Did you start Ozark?
The
final
part
season?
2? Yes.
Have you finished it?
Yes.
I saw the last 30 minutes of the last episode.
Whoa. Why'd you do that?
I mean, I honestly, I just caught it and I was like, I already knew what was going to happen. It was already spoiled for me on in my bubble on Twitter.
Oh no.
I mean, I wasn't dodging things. It's okay. I'm not that upset. I'm more about the journey than spoilers, so I'm usually okay with it. But yeah, no, that ending. My mom, she was watching it. She was not pleased with the ending.
Yeah, there's a few things that definitely a few. There's a couple things that I wasn't a huge fan of. So Navarro dying, I was like, I don't like this because they built this guy up from nothing, like so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then his sister comes out of fucking nowhere,
Yep.
and then she's the main villain of the show. Like what?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
It's a weird turn. As someone who didn't even watch really any episode before that, I was like, wait, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom said the first half of the final season was amazing. She was saying she was like, wow,
crazy.
she was like, if they pull this off, this could be like one of my favorite shows. But then by the end, it was a slog for her to get through the last half. She was like 3 episodes in and she's like, this sucks. And then she was all mad because none of apparently a lot of plot points weren't wrapped up as neatly or at all.
I
the
think
internet
the last
thinks
episode was also a bit rushed.
It looked it, yeah, from the last 30
Because there was
minutes.
so much they had to do is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching with my friend and he's like, well, we're both like, there's so much stuff going on. And there was only 1 episode left. I'm like, how? We're both like, how are they, in the world are they going to wrap this up like this? How are they going to do it?
Yeah.
And I do think it fell short.
And then it ends on a somewhat cliffhanger. It's
well,
like, I mean, you have an idea of
inferred,
who got shot,
right?
but like,
yeah,
everyone on the internet seemed to be like, shoot Wendy instead, which was fun. That's what my mom screamed. That's what she wanted because she just didn't like Wendy at all. But like,
Wendy's like one of the pieces of the soul of the show. I feel like.
She didn't like how her character just became evil and ruthless and didn't care for her kids. She wasn't a good mother. Also, the son's teeth threw her off, too. Because his teeth looked weird.
I hate Jonah.
Yeah.
So much. I hate his character. I hate how much of a little bitch he is.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, that's his character until that last sequence where, gets the shotgun and
shoots.
I'm gonna protect my family.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched that. I was like, ooh. It doesn't seem awful, but like, it just seems like it sucks. Also, it seems kind of open for another season, which is weird. Like, I feel like they could continue stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like all wrapped up.
What else are they gonna do though? Because the deal with the FBI is solid. I mean, Camilla's still like kind of, like doing her part of the deal, I guess. Or she should be.
They're just gonna let Ruth go like that. They're just gonna be like, all right. Because they were like, we got to do something about this. Then they just left, went home.
Me and my friend thought Marty was gonna call the hitman that Navarro gave the number for, and get rid of Camilla.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if she dies, then the FBI thing is dead.
Yeah, it's very strange. It was a very strange ending to a show that I had no prior knowledge of, but I was also very confused on the things that I learned in the last half hour. It was actually probably more like 40 minutes. It was a long episode.
Yeah, it was 70 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Final finale.
They had a cool shot, though, of when Ruth was on the roof. and like everybody was in the backyard, like it was nobody, but then it showed everybody from the beginning, and then went up to the roof, and then all that.
Yeah, that was a nice sequence they added.
It was a cool shot. I was like, it's a past. Mom's like, you watching this? Have you seen this? I'm like, no, I understand what's happening. I understand how film works. I pick up on the visual and auditory clues that they're giving me. So, but yeah, I just wanted to ask you because I know you said you were gonna hold off for a bit after you finish Breaking Bad. So.
Yeah, I was waiting and waiting and waiting for that part 2.
Yeah.
Versus my friend who he pretty much watched the whole thing in the past month.
Jesus.
Month or a month and a half. He watched the 4 seasons, part 1, and then we watched part 2 together.
Oh, that's nice.
He also thought it was lacking.
Yeah. I might hold off for a bit.
Unfortunate. It was, man, I like everything leading up to that is just so good. I can't tell you how good it is.
I believe it.
And then I don't know how they messed that up.
It shows they usually have a hard time ending stuff.
But you know, Jason Bateman's directing the whole thing. Like, well, at least the part 2. He was the director for the second half.
Oh wow, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He also did, I think, the first. I don't know. I think he did a lot of the show. Maybe not the entire thing, but he did a good amount of it. Directing. Yeah. And Wendy actually did one of the episodes too. It was kind of cool. Yeah,
that makes sense because Bryan Cranston directed a few of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. But they had a little like 30-minute look back on Ozark and Farewell and stuff. So they talked about that.
Oh, that's nice. I thought you didn't like behind the scenes.
In this type of movie, it doesn't really affect too much, I would say.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Versus like action movies or something, or fighting or stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to know, so I was curious.
Yeah. Cool. We're probably not going to do a rumor segment tonight, so I do want to talk about one more thing before we wrap the show up. So there was another thing announced earlier or late last week. Xbox is going to have a showcase in June. Adam, do you remember the exact date?
12th?
I don't remember. 12th.
Same date they do almost
Xbox,
every year?
Yeah.
It's either 12th or the 15th.
Xbox Bethesda showcase. I just read a rumor, so I will give you one that is saying it's going to be around 90 minutes, which that's pretty, average attempt for the time. I don't expect it to be longer than that. 90 minutes sounds about good. So, Xbox Showcase. We're not going to have any predictions now. We'll probably have them later on.
When we get close, yeah, we talked about it. When we get, not even end of the month, like literally the week before the show. Or the Tuesday before, whenever the show happens, we'll have predictions. So I'll write them down. We'll do our whole prediction thing.
Absolutely.
If there's anything like the 5 or 10 announced,
we may have some emergency thing that time if anything stupid crazy is announced. But
I can't imagine.
I don't think. I don't. Yeah, I mean,
we might just want to talk about it because it's fun. But
sure.
Yeah, I can't.
But I did want to just bring it to the panel and see what everybody's thoughts are on Xbox having a showcase, even though E3 is gone, obviously, at this point for this year. Xbox is still doing their thing. I think it's going to have to be a jam-packed showcase for them. It's going to have to be one, because we haven't heard anything from Xbox since last year's September or October, correct?
December, they were at the Game Awards.
What did they announce then? Was anything crazy?
No, they just showed stuff, like sponsored stuff.
We haven't had a proper conference from them since about August or September.
No, it was June. They're E3.
Oh,
they've done little things. They've done like indie showcases, but as far as I'm aware, I don't believe they've had they don't do conferences like Sony does.
Yeah, no big conference since then. So we're approaching a year since they've had one, or pretty much a year. It's going to have to be jam-packed. 90 minutes, you better have every game in your arsenal or idea that you've got. I mean, they have to have something cooking
I can't
after all this stuff.
I can't imagine. I would honestly think it's longer than 90 minutes.
Really? What do you think it's going to be, like 2 hours? I'm sorry.
Hour 45 to 2 hours, yeah. They've done that
Yeah.
before. Like, 90 minutes seems too short because they have a lot of game studios working on stuff, but they have also had things that have been announced years ago that should be showed off at this point. I imagine there's going to be a deep dive into Starfield.
I would probably assume that would be at least a 30-minute segment dedicated to Starfield.
I would hope. Or unless they do like a different showcase showing that, but they usually don't do those. So
Starfall maybe show up, Redfall might show up this E3.
Weirdly, because it was supposed to launch the summer of this year.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of took that away.
Yeah. The one thing I think is almost guaranteed for us to hear is a revitalized or reconstruction of the Why is there a hole in the table now? That wasn't there before, right?
Kevin just broke it.
Oh.
Kevin, why you break that?
Oops.
Reconstruction of the Xbox Game Pass. I think after they see PlayStation Plus Premium, they might do away with Gold and just put it together and get rid of the yearly sub for them and just say here's a monthly sub.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're guaranteed to see that, especially after the turn.
That's a bold prediction. I can't wait till you use that in June.
Yeah, I'll use it. Yeah, that's one thing I really wanted to point out. It's just I think that after Sony's revamp of PS Plus, I think they're gonna go around the same route. They're gonna be like, you know what? Here's everything, but a price hike. But I'll save actual details and predictions until June.
Yeah.
But other games, they have to have at least a showcase of like a good, and I don't mean like, okay, there's a showcase of 20 games and 5 of them are decent. They need to have fucking bangers.
They got to put out what they bought the studios. They got to show what they've been working on. Yes. They have to show like because we need to see what Perfect Dark has become. We need to see if you're doing Forza Motorsport this year, like it's been rumored for the past 2 years. Like you have to show that off at this point. I know the Halo season's going to launch. I think that later this month or beginning of June.
No,
it's somewhere around.
I thought season 2 got extended till November.
What?
Halo? Yeah, that's what I remember reading. Halo. Let me see if I can look this up. Anyway, continue.
I looked that up. They have to show off like what they've been doing. Like you've talked about an Indiana Jones game last year. Like what's that in development? Do they have a Marvel game? Like there's just so many things where it's like just show us what you're doing. What is Elder Scrolls 6 ready to talk about? Where's Fable? Like it's been so many years for so many IP. You need to put stuff out, and it can't be CGI trailers for most of these. You have to show gameplay. You have to show where they are. You have to give realistic expectations. Will they do any of this? I don't know. Will they overhype the show? Probably. They've been getting better at it. Not really, though, but, like, better than they were. But they need to actually show what they're doing. They have good momentum right now. And I think they can capitalize on that with their show if they put it out. But yeah, this could be something. This could be a huge thing for Xbox, and I hope it's a good show. I hope to be entertained during it, and I can't wait to do predictions. So, I wonder if they talk about like Halo, like the Paramount show.
I would hope we get entertained by it. That leads to good competition between them and the rest of the the gaming industry at that point. You know, they always want to see who's better at showing off what. The overall show needs to be just an onslaught of games. They can't stop. If they have too much, explaining and things like that and all these little things, I think the show will start to lose a lot of its fire that it has. And I think a lot of the Xbox community is really ready for, like, hey, what do you guys have for us next? Give it to us. We've been waiting forever.
I think their last E3 was pretty good. Like, just the announcement of some things, like, shocked me.
Yeah.
Like,
decent,
the Outer Worlds 2, like, that was a funny trailer. It was CGI, though. Like, show me what you're doing. Convince me to buy an Xbox or get Game Pass on PC. Like, show us off. Did you look up the Halo Season 2 thing, by the way?
Hang on. What? Halo Infinite, yes. Halo Infinite Season 2 6-month extension.
Is there more?
Yeah, it's been extended for 6 months. It is a Windows Central article here. So, Halo Infinite transitions into its 7th season in May.
Yeah, May. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay. Yeah, I was just talking about when's the next season start.
So season 3 has been delayed into late 2022. They're expanding season 2
that's fine.
To a 6-month, expanding it over 6 months.
That's crazy. But also, I was saying, like, whatever the next season is, season 2, yeah. So then, it comes out May. So, that's what I was saying. So I was correct on that. But, see, that's a huge delay for seasons. That seems kind of wild. But
100% it's a big delay.
I still think they need to talk about Halo Infinite. They need to talk about, like, the improvements and how that game has been a success. And
I thought there's still things missing from Halo as well,
no,
right?
That's what I'm saying. They need to talk about it. They need to get, like, they have their posts and their blogs and all that, but they need to get into a show and get people excited for Halo again. Like, hey, Season 2 launched, like, hey, this weekend we're doing a free thing. By the way, co-op's coming. Like, they need to concentrate on the things that they have out, and they need to concentrate on what's coming. Because they're like, the acquisition stuff is wonderful news for if you're an Xbox fan, but at the same time, like, it's putting it out so far. Like, hey, it's good to be an Xbox fan in 5 years when this studio we bought puts out a game. Like, I assume we get to see some Deathloop stuff talked about here, maybe, or something like that. Like, just it might be too early, but just be excited for it. Be prepared. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they mentioned it, so I'm just I'm curious.
Kevin, you got any thoughts on this Xbox showcase?
It's gonna be awful.
Oh.
I have no expectations for this at all.
Oh my gosh.
Because will Starfield be there? Absolutely. They gotta compete with what the heck was that game called? I erased it from my brain. The 10 out of 10 that was really like a 5 out of 10 at best.
Scorn?
No, the perfect game.
Perfect Dark?
Perfect first-person shooter. No. This isn't a Microsoft game. Deathloop. Thank you.
Oh my God.
The one I literally just said?
I thought you said Perfect Dark.
I mean, like, a minute ago.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
To be fair,
I made a whole joke about it. Genesis laughed. Oh my God.
No, I was still trying to figure out what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
But no, Starfield has to compete with Deathloop, so they're going to have that battle going on. There are going to be even more TV spots than what Deathloop had.
God, we're not going to stop hearing about Starfield until the end.
Elder Scrolls 6,
Starloop.
I expect to hear nothing about. I really don't. Is there going to be a Gears announcement? Maybe. Could be Gears 6.
You think we'll hear a Fallout announcement? Fallout 76?
No, absolutely not.
Fallout 5.
They're working on
Fallout
76,
Starfield.
Yeah, sure. Fallout 76. They're gonna talk about the battle royale that maybe is already out. I don't remember.
I don't think
That's
it's out
apparently
yet.
gonna be a
Couldn't tell you, and I'm not looking it up.
thing. As far as Halo news goes, they'll talk about Warzone and nothing else, and no one cares about it. So yay. Maybe they'll call it something different than Warzone because Call of Duty has Warzone, and that'd just be really confusing.
Didn't we already say it was called something else?
They probably did.
No, it's called Warzone.
I mean, Halo originally had Warzone, and then Call of Duty was like,
No,
oh,
wasn't. Didn't I look it up and it was called something else?
It probably is, yes.
Maybe. I thought it was called Warzone. Okay,
Halo,
I'm probably wrong.
In Halo 5 it was. I looked up that part. And then... Yeah, that's about it. I mean, maybe we'll hear something about Indiana Jones. I somehow doubt it. Will Perfect Dark be shown? Absolutely not. Because I don't think that game will see the light of day.
Fable?
Fable won't see the light of day.
Hmm.
Fable takes too long to develop. I don't understand how it takes so long to develop these games. Like, Fable 1 was a disgrace. It just was. For all the things that like were leading up to Fable 1 and its release, and how, oh my god, guys, this game is gonna have it all. And I freaking finished the thing 100% in 7 hours. I'm like, no, this game did not have it all.
7
at all.
hours. Wow.
Thank you. Like, that game was absolute trash. I don't know if Fable ever got better with 2 and 3. Somehow I doubt it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. Microsoft has acquired a lot of studios.
Yeah.
But those studios aren't even done with the back catalog, let alone anything that's gonna be specific to Microsoft. So like, meh. What are they gonna bring? What are they gonna bring? And the answer is they'll probably just push Game Pass the whole time. They'll shove Game Pass down your throat while showing you Starfield footage, and then Bethesda, some people from Bethesda will come out on stage and dance around or something. I don't know.
Well, they don't ever do that. They stopped doing that after the whole Kinect stuff.
And they'll have more product codes, and what's his face will do a funny commercial where he talks about porting Skyrim to more devices.
Oh my god.
I think that's over. Well, I mean, except the remaster that came out.
It's available in your Galaxy Watch and Apple Watches, guys.
I will say one thing. If Will It Run Doom turns into can we port Skyrim to this, I'm there for it. And Bethesda wins everything.
Can you play Skyrim on a glucose monitor for diabetic people?
Yeah, but the diabetic died.
Well, that's sad.
Is it?
Because he was too busy playing Skyrim on his
They
monitor.
They can't infect anybody else with their diabetics.
Their diabetics?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Can you play Skyrim? Can you play Skyrim on a touchscreen Hewlett-Packard printer?
Yes.
Those can't even print. So no.
But what if you What if you could play Skyrim on it? You know?
No, you can't. No, it'll be like it's out of ink. And like I'm not even trying to print. I'm trying to play Skyrim. It's like ink. And it prints a green knee with an arrow in it.
It's printing your pages every second. It's printing each frame.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you what was amazing that I saw like a couple of months ago, a month and a half ago. Somebody changed up the meme of Will It Run Doom to Will It Play Doom? Or can you like use this to play Doom? And they were playing Doom with a rotary phone.
Wow. So did anybody see the Wario64 tweeted out like a Playtech controller, like a kid's controller?
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody wired it to an Xbox.
Yeah, a $15 controller that's like a fake baby toy, and somebody made it into an actual Xbox controller.
Fun fact, my daughter has that one.
Oh, yeah?
She's got that controller.
That guy might put
Reveal
a
my price,
what's it called, a tutorial on how to make it online. He said he might do that so you can adjust it and you have a crispy controller.
My question to the panel. So, do we collectively think that 2022 is the year for Microsoft, or are we still a few years off for the year of Microsoft?
The year of Microsoft will be 2024.
Interesting. Adam?
A bold prediction.
I'm thinking on what exactly is a year of Microsoft.
So, I guess let me provide some context. So,
like, what's the determining factor that was Microsoft's year?
I guess if they're done with all their acquisitions and now their studios are all ready and they have games that are ready to be released in the same year.
So, like, are you saying, like, they actually have one game a quarter? Is that their year?
I would say 2 games a quarter.
I mean, their goal is 1 game a quarter.
Year of Microsoft is they have 2 games a quarter.
I don't think there ever will be a year of Microsoft then.
Okay, so let's put it to the original definition. One game a quarter. When do we see Microsoft?
Since Sony, that was their goal, and they've never really been able to hit that all that well.
I mean, they're doing well for 2022 so far.
No, again, but I'm literally going by just the 1 game a quarter. Like, Sony has only really ever done 3. They've skipped quarters before. Like, 2018 was probably, I would say, their best year of video games. And they didn't put out a first party release of 1 game a quarter. They only did 3. I'll agree with Kevin with 2024, honestly. I don't really think there will be a year of Microsoft. I don't know how to, like, phrase this. Somebody else answer. I'm done.
2025.
I'm changing my answer to 20. You sack of shit.
I think 2025.
2025.
I think we're about 3 years away from a year of Microsoft where that year is just, wow, look at the stuff that Microsoft's putting out. Look at this. Look at that. That's insane. They have an Xbox Z. Xbox
I'll tell you what. I don't think for us it'll ever be like that for Microsoft. Because we'll be like, oh, that game looks like trash. Came out to an 82.
That's what I just said.
Like.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, I don't think. Like, I know they will do well, and they've been outselling PlayStations, but it's really all about supply
and demand. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's mostly supply. It's not so much demand. Demand is there for PlayStations and Xbox. It's more so PlayStations, but supply just isn't there, and that's expected to continue until I think I just saw an article today saying possibly 2024. Like,
yeah,
I just don't see. Will I ever go, you know what, Microsoft killed it this year? Probably, but will I say, wow, Microsoft's convinced me to buy an Xbox, I'm done with PlayStation? No, that'll probably never happen.
Never, no.
Again, unless Apple buys Sony for you, Genesis.
Shut up.
Yeah, well, you're saying never, but, like...
If they do, I quit gaming, I'm done.
Amazon could jump in and buy Sony at some point.
I don't want anybody to buy Sony. I don't want nobody to buy.
I don't want anybody either, but consolidation is a thing, and
I guess I'd rather be run by Bezos instead of Cook.
I would rather Amazon buys me.
That can be arranged.
I sell Kevin on my Amazon.
Ooh, how much?
Not a lot. Nobody's bought it yet.
Oh, you piece of
shit. My last quick question, but Desnoda, what year do you think?
22 right now.
It is, yeah, correct.
25.
Okay. All right.
What was everybody else's? I didn't.
24, 20, 24. Kevin changed it though, so he may have a different one. But 25. You and me were 25.
I changed mine to never. Really.
So Adam says never. Me, you, and Kevin are 25.
No, 2025.
My last question to the panel. So we always talk about how Xbox has all these studios acquired. They're gonna have all these new projects and new games. Do you think they'd ever really lean on some of the old games that they've done? Like they have Rare under their belt.
Yes.
Do you think they? Okay. You think they'll lean on some of the? Yeah. You think they'll lean on some of the older games and release sequels to those? Like, would we ever see a Banjo and Kazooie 4 that was supposed to happen? Or 3, I guess, if you're not counting the Nuts and Bolts one being the third one. Are we ever going to see like a Time Splitter sequel? Are we ever going to see oh god, what was
maybe reboots, not sequels, but like I think yes. I think Phil Spencer has talked about it, that he likes older games, he likes games preservation, and the whole backwards compatibility thing is to see who's playing what, and if enough people play the old game, they bring it back. So absolutely yes.
Okay, interesting answer. Anybody else, Kevin? That's no.
I say no, because it hasn't worked for them yet. Perfect Dark Zero? What about it? You know it exists.
It was bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't mean they're not going to do it though.
Perfect Dark got a remaster that was also awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't do it. I can't think of any of their older games that they say that they'll bring back that either A, actually came back and the project finished, or B, it was good. Time Splitters 4 was announced when I was in college. It's been a decade.
It's coming back, don't worry.
A decade plus. And it was still slightly rumored that, like, oh yeah, no, they're working on it. And it's like, no, they're not.
It's coming.
It would be done already.
I mean, if they're still working on it at this
point, they gotta put it in a new engine again.
Just gotta go back to college. It'll be done.
They can always pull a Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out 13 years later.
Thank you. But like,
better yet, go back to high school.
Honestly, I honestly can't think of anything from the older games that they have access to now. They haven't tried to do anything really with Donkey Kong. They haven't tried to do anything like GoldenEye. The freaking Half-Life modding crew has. They've made GoldenEye Source. It's great.
Donkey Kong isn't owned by Microsoft.
If they have Rare, yes it is.
No, it's not.
No, they
Donkey
own
Kong 64.
Yeah, they don't own Donkey Kong has games coming out on Switch.
Yeah, they own
Who has Donkey Kong now?
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah, I don't think
they own
did Nintendo
technically.
buy it from Rare?
I don't know if Rare ever owned Donkey Kong.
Rare has made every Donkey Kong game that I'm aware of.
What about
from
Tropical
Super
Freeze?
Nintendo forward.
That is the only exception.
I'm not aware of who made that.
That was Retro Studios.
There we go. So that's who has it now.
Interesting observation. I did not realize
Rare made
that.
Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong 64.
Rare worked on it from 1994 to 2007. Nintendo owns it.
Been on it for a while.
But they were originally it's been worked on by Nintendo R&D 1 from 1981 to 1984. It's a bunch. It's also a Mario
thing. They probably just lent it out for other studios to work on.
Rare never owned it.
Okay.
They just worked on it.
They were the only people who had like their logo up here.
No, they've made other Donkey Kong games too. But Rare does have like Conker.
They've got Rare had Banjo-Kazooie, Conker. They had them. So
isn't there another Conker in development?
Yeah.
Didn't
for
Rare
like
also
7
have
years,
Gex?
8 years?
I don't know about that.
Gex has been rumored for I don't know how long now. I'm saying all these games do have sequels in the ether.
You make decent points, Kevin. Yeah, you make valid points.
Microsoft will not ever succeed at bringing back old games. I don't know why. And if they do, I will eat my own words.
Well, the question
Gladly.
was, hey, will Microsoft succeed in bringing them back, or will they bring them back? And I think I took it as more as, they'll bring them back.
Like the literal question of will
I
they
don't
bring them
think they
back? Yes or
will.
no?
Okay,
No,
again,
you have valid
where's
points,
Time Splitters
Kevin.
4? Where's Conker's Bad Fur Day 2? 3? I forget which one we're on now.
Three.
3? 3.
Yeah.
Like, they're not coming. They're just not.
Fair enough.
I think Microsoft, especially, and here's the thing too, Microsoft now is going so hard with Game Pass and trying to acquire more to add to Game Pass. Why should they bother trying to bring older games
Time
back?
Splitters is not owned by Rare.
It's not. It's Free Radical.
Yeah, so that's not an example then.
Oh, I was going off of what you all were saying.
I thought
figured
they were under
you
Xbox.
know who owns who
Wasn't
better.
Time Splitters under Xbox?
I didn't bring up Time Splitters, so I don't know who.
I did, but I thought they were under. Are they not under Xbox?
No, they're Embracer
Free
Group.
Radical is owned by.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
there you have it.
I apologize. I'm really sorry about that. I thought they were Xbox.
I was like,
I
wait a
understand,
minute,
Kevin.
why does he keep
Sorry.
saying Time Splitters?
I started
Splitters
it. That's
because
why
Tim
he said
says
it.
I don't know
Yeah.
who owns who. I literally just listen to you two because you usually know better than I do. As seen already with Donkey Kong.
Well, as seen now, only listen to me, apparently. I don't know what the hell Genesis is smoking.
Okay, I'm sorry. I made a mistake with Time Splitters.
I'll never forgive you.
We both know what he's smoking. It's whatever the hell is behind him right now.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the blue Casey behind him.
What? The blue campfire. Oh
No,
my
Casey.
God, okay.
Campfire is our guest today.
Right.
That's
right.
a Casey. I don't know if you know this,
Casey.
but every time we use him for a word, his real name is replaced for that word, and he becomes the object.
So this is a Casey. Okay. All right.
Correct.
Anyway. Okay.
Maybe
well,
you
that's.
have Casey.
Oh my god.
It's next week.
Oh lord.
Named after Casey Anthony.
With that, we're done. We'll bid you guys good night.
Before this ends, next week, Salt and Sacrifice drops.
Okay.
Oh baby, I'm gonna be on vacation and out of state. I will more than likely not be here. So the following week, Salt and Sacrifice. Get ready.
Wait, when are you going on vacation?
When? I'm leaving Monday.
Oh, so you won't be here next week, Tuesday?
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay, cool.
All right,
thanks for
cool.
notifying us. All right, well, tune in next week for our best episode yet, where everyone will know where Donkey Kong and Time Splitters come from. And no wood will be broken.
Oh my god.
What did I break? I'm sorry. The controller.
Quick PSA for everybody. The PlayStation Now subscriptions are still, you can still purchase them from the Sony Rewards website. So anybody who wants to try and stack that, why?
Because they disabled stacking.
Yeah, if you don't have PS Now though, and you want to get PS Now so you can keep the longer of the two subscriptions as your premium service, go get yourself at least 3 months of Now. It'll work out for you, and that way better in the long run. And Horizon Collector's Editions are back on PlayStation Direct. If you didn't get a chance to get one then, get one now. Other than that, everybody stay safe. Go get your COVID shots. Go keep your masks on. It's not over yet, people. There's more variants coming back. Stupid fucks.
No, it's over. Kevin's going on vacation. It's over. That confirms it. Kevin's going abroad to a cough all over foreigners. Except he'll be the foreigner.
The forerunner.
Oh.
And with that, I bid you all good night. Crafting a Chat signing off. We'll see you again next Tuesday. Twitch.tv/craftingachat and youtube.com / starting too late. See you later, bitches.
Hey, don't swear at them.
Face. Get out of my face.
Don't swear. That's rude.